From Resilient Partners, this is the Resilient Insights Podcast. Every episode offers in-depth insights on the key debates and conversations shaping Washington and the world. From policy to leadership to the lighter side of life, we're your source for thoughtful discussions. So get ready to be informed, inspired, and engaged. Welcome to the Resilient Insights Podcast. I'm your guide on this journey, Joshua Baca, walking you through the intricate world of public policy, leadership, and the lighter side of life. On today's episode, we're going to have a conversation about the significance of careers and sustainability with my good friend, Justin Riney. Justin is the Sustainability and Commercial Manager at INEOS Styrolution, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his career path in getting into the world of sustainability. Justin, welcome to the show.
Joshua, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Always good to talk to you.
That's awesome, man. I'm happy to have you on as well, too. And we've been having a lot of conversations about careers and sustainability. And so I really wanted to start there. What motivated you to get a career in the sustainability world?
I don't think there was ever one motivating factor that got me here. I'm an accidental plastics professional, and I'm also an accidental sustainability professional, as evidenced by the fact that I have a very difficult time saying sustainability, and it's in my job title. It's just the little things that get you. But yeah, I got opportunities, took the opportunities, ended up working in a space that I love now. I never would have guessed or imagined 15 years ago that I'd be a plastics professional, let alone trying to solve some of the bigger issues that we have in this space right now, which is really exciting. I think it's the easiest way to put it.
So you talk about being a plastics professional and working in sustainability. Give me a few of your highlights about your career in the world of sustainability and plastics.
Well, I come through a lot of different converters, great companies, surrounded by a lot of really great people that poured into my career early on and kept giving me additional opportunities. And those opportunities kind of led me here. I've spent a lot of time in procurement, trying to drive costs down and find the right partners for the different companies that I came through, specifically in the resin space. That's kind of how I fell into this plastics job and the plastics industry altogether at Sunoco Products. They came to me one day. Former boss there, David Kipp, great guy. He came to me and said, "What do you think about buying polymers?" And I said, "Well, I don't know what polymers are. I don't know a thing about them, but I'm willing to learn. So give me an opportunity, and I'd love to get some additional experience in this space." So it's been great. It's been a lot of fun.
So you work for a company called INEOS Styrolution America. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what INEOS Styrolution America is and what you all do?
So INEOS Styrolution is a part of the INEOS group. We're one of the largest chemical companies in the world. INEOS Styrolution is the styrenics portion of that. And by styrenics, I mean anything that's made with styrene monomer. I know that's complicated for people that are not in the plastic space, but it's really just the building block that goes into making things like polystyrene or ABS. If you think of ABS, it's probably more durable goods. You can think about toys, anything that needs really high impact resistance and for it to last. Those things are going to be made out of ABS. We make a lot of other great products, what we call our advanced styrenics, but I think that's going to get into the weeds for your podcast listeners. But to anybody that's interested,
sometimes we get into the weeds, and that's okay.
Yeah. Anybody that wants more information in that space, they can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn, and we can talk about it. But don't need to mess with it for this
a
conversation.
Big company doing great things is what I understand.
Exactly right. And it's an exciting space to be in right now. There's a lot going on, and it's been a real focus of the plastics industry, and specifically INEOS Styrolution over the last probably 10 years to grow our sustainability footprint, try to sell more eco products for us that would be bio-based or biocircular or PCR. So bio-based is anything that's made out of agricultural products, renewable products that would replace virgin feedstocks, which in our case would be oil or natural gas derived. So it's reducing the carbon footprint of the products that we're producing, which is, it's interesting and exciting stuff. It's a real new wave in the industry right now. And then PCR is post-consumer resin. That's what everybody thinks of when you put your plastics in your curbside. That stuff is recycled. It's recycled at scale in most places, and we need more of it. So please continue to recycle.
That's great. You talked a little bit earlier about the difficulty in communicating what sustainability is, particularly in your job title. And in the world we live in today, as purpose of this podcast is jobs in the sustainability space are hot. Companies are making sustainability commitments, whether that's to address climate change, to reduce the impact of materials entering the environment, whatever it may be. What does sustainability mean? What does it mean to you? And help our listeners understand that a little bit.
It's an excellent question. Sustainability, as it, once again, I struggle with that word, means a lot of things to a lot of people. From a high level, there are multiple buckets, but how it fits with my job, we're talking about a reduction of the impact that we have on the earth with our products. We're looking to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We're looking to reuse the products that we make. So we want to offset virgin fossil-derived products with either bio-based, biocircular, or what we would love to have is our polystyrene going back to polystyrene. And that is really what we're trying to drive at.
So if I hear you correctly, there's some misconception out here about whether polystyrene, one of the materials your company manufactures, is recyclable or can be recycled. How do you address those misconceptions in your role?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because that is one of the biggest issues that we face today. Polystyrene is recyclable. It is a thermoplastic. It can be recycled, reprocessed, made back into a pellet, and made back into a product multiple times. We can do that, and we've proven that we can do that. We do that on a daily basis here at INEOS Styrolution. I think it's also key to know that our products are essential. They are the best fit for use for our customers' applications. There's a reason why polystyrene goes into the applications that they're in today. It's also innovative climate solution. So when we compare our products to other applications, it is a lower carbon footprint than any of the competitors in this space.
It seems like it's a big, monumental task to educate people about polystyrene being recyclable. Is that true?
It is. A lot of conversations. I spend a lot of time meeting with legislators, NGOs, people that are well-intentioned that want to make a good impact on the earth, which I'm 100% on board with and support. We want to make this world a better place than we came into. But the issue is folks look at polystyrene and they see a low-hanging fruit in some cases for an NGO perspective, because we're a smaller part of the overall packaging market. And if our products are removed from the marketplace, that is in essence a production cap. And we're really against that. And we want to make sure that we're a part of the solution, because we've shown that our products are a solution in this space. We're not a problem. We are the solution to reducing greenhouse gas emissions.
You mentioned a little bit of this word circular and circular economies. What does that mean? When you say polystyrene is circular or can be reused or is part of a circular economy, help our listeners understand what that means.
Circular to us and to the plastics industry is plastics to plastics. Take our end products, recycle them in any of the formats that are there, either mechanically or advanced or chemical recycling, and take that back into the same products. That's really what we want to do. We want, if we make a cup or our customers make a cup, we want to take that, recycle it, put that back into cups to make it fully circular. There's also the ability to take those same cups and then maybe put them into a longer term durable good, into a toy or something from that
Hmm.
perspective, which is also circular, but it's not what people traditionally think of. And we want to make sure that we let the world understand and know that we are not talking about incineration. We are not talking about creating fuels. We're talking about plastics to plastics. That is what we are focused on here at INEOS Styrolution.
So if I'm connecting a few dots here, I was at Chick-fil-A. I'm at Chick-fil-A quite often, to be quite honest with you.
As am I.
One of my favorite things about Chick-fil-A is that I still get a diet soda or a Coke Zero soda in that foam cup, and it's so cold, full of ice. Are you telling me you could take that foam cup and turn it into toys? Is that how I heard that? How do you do that?
We could possibly do that in the future as we continue to grow advanced recycling. We can take right now that cup that you've specifically talked about, have that densified into blocks, ship that to a recycling facility, and make that back into pellets, which would be replacing our virgin material. So we could blend that back in with our virgin material to make a percentage PCR content product, which is great for the environment. It's great for us. It's great business. And we want to make sure that we're a big part of that going forward.
I feel like that's such an important part of this conversation is sustainability has now become part of our business models or your
It really
business models.
has.
Yeah. And that is a good transition maybe into the next question I wanted to ask you. If sustainability is now a core tenet of business models for manufacturing companies, how does one land a job in sustainability? How did you land your job in sustainability?
Accidentally, I guess I can go back to that again. I spent the early portion of my career in procurement, like I mentioned earlier, and got into plastics. With that, there's been a lot of effort over the last 10 years to reduce the impact of the products that go into this space that are made out of plastics, specifically in packaging. So I come out of two of the larger packaging companies in the US, and there was concerted effort at both of those organizations to reduce the impact of their products and to make them circular. That has been a key mover in this space for about 10 years now. While I was in those previous roles, I learned a lot about what can and cannot work in this space. How do we make the products that we're making circular? So I spent a lot of time developing feasibility analysis to figure out, can we do this? Can we take the products that we're making today and then make them back into the same products? And that experience and spending a lot of time with people much smarter than me, and I found some solutions to some issues, and it was very exciting. I'm a kind of guy that loves big issues, loves to learn, and loves to solve what seems to be unanswerable questions. And everything in this space is that. And I was given opportunities to grow in this space. And now this is my second role in sustainability with a large organization. And I think if I was to give anybody advice in this space, take every opportunity you're given. If you're
Yeah.
interested in sustainability, try to join a team within your organization. Show interest to your manager. I really want to make a difference in the world. I really want to promote circularity of products. I want to reduce the impact that I personally have. And people will give you opportunities, and you'll end up working in spaces you never thought possible and solving problems that everybody just thought couldn't be solved. And that's very exciting stuff.
I think you're so spot on this taking every opportunity you have that's put in front of you. Our career paths aren't that different in regards to accidents happening along the way. I remember several years ago when I started working at the American Beverage Association, it may have been like my first or second day on the job, and I got invited to a meeting. And it's like, hey, we're going to create a PET bottle recycling initiative that's going to be first of its kind. And I remember sort of sitting in there. I'm like, what are PET bottles? What's
Yeah.
first of its kind sustainability initiative? And, we were such at the forefront of making that a reality, but none of that would have been possible, which sprungboard my career into other amazing opportunities had I not been given those opportunities by mentors along the way. So shout out to all the mentors who are listening, who've given us opportunities along the way. We were talking about this a little bit before we got on the podcast. We both have young kids and we're both trying to reduce our environmental impact. What's your message to parents who are also trying to do that?
I think the biggest thing is recycling is real, to steal an industry phrase, but it's real. It works. The issue is not enough of it is happening today. And by that, I mean there's not enough infrastructure to sort all of the different products to make sure that those products become new products. So targeted infrastructure investments are required. But for a person that is on the street, just a typical consumer, recycle. Make decisions based on what's best for your family, but then make sure that you're recycling. There have been many studies done over the last several years, and the faith within the industry or within consumer space about whether recycling works has been dwindling. And I'm here to tell everybody that's listening, recycling does work. We're doing it daily and we want to do more of it. So we need more of your products to get to the material recovery facilities, the MRFs, so that way I can get that back to products. It's a big deal.
I think there's such a change going on here generationally. I mean, my kid came home from school a couple months ago and was like, we learned about composting and I want to compost at our house. And I'm like, we could do that. That's
Yeah,
great.
it is
I'm
great.
like, so we got a composter in the backyard and we're, saving food scraps and doing all that good stuff. I will say that the amount of waste we've been putting in our trash bin has gone down. There's no doubt about it. So maybe a good transition here, in addition to working on with your customers and your partners on making your products more circular and more sustainable, what are some other projects you're working on that are fun and upcoming?
Well, we got a lot of projects, never ending stream of projects. But I do want to hit on just real quick about the composting thing. It's important to know that one of the, if not the largest by volume weight material that is in landfills today is food waste.
Food
So,
waste. Amen, brother.
and it contributes to a lot of greenhouse gases.
Yep.
The breakdown of those products become methane, which then emits greenhouse gases. There's a lot of reasons why we need to make sure that we're properly handling our food waste as well. And plastics are great in the fact that they extend shelf life. So the longer the shelf life, the longer those products are going to last, specifically fruits and vegetables that are shipped in some cases from South America all the way up.
Yeah.
A lot of that happens in EPS bins that keep those products cold. So that's expanded polystyrene. It's important to the industry that we keep those products in that supply chain to extend the shelf life of all of the products that we enjoy today.
I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than I do all the grocery shopping in our house.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to the store, you take the time, you order your food, you do all those sorts of things that are needed. And you come home and your fruits and vegetables go bad in a day or two. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the most frustrating thing that could occur. And look, I mean, I think we need the best of both worlds. We need to be sustainable, but we also have enough innovation happening in the marketplace where the packaging that preserves this material should be encouraged. And having worked in this space for several years, I strongly agree with you on that. Anything else you want to highlight that you're doing? Any other projects helping your customers with this issue of circularity?
Yeah. So INEOS Styrolution right now in the Americas, we're a solutions company. So we're working with our customers. Our customers come to us and say, we want to reduce our footprint, and we work with them to find the best product and best solution for their application so it'd be as close to drop-in as possible. So from a mechanical recycling perspective, we'll go out and source the material that they need, blend it in with our finished product to make sure that that's as close to what they're using today. So not a lot of adjustments are needed within the production process. We're also doing similar things with the bio-based and biocircular feedstocks. Anything that we can do to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and reduce the carbon footprint of our products, we're on board with, we're aligned with, and we want to support our customers in meeting their commitments. A lot of our bigger customers have made commitments to reduce their greenhouse gases and reduce their carbon footprint, and we are thrilled to support our customers in this space. We're
That's
also
great.
working on a couple different things from an industry perspective. We talked a lot about recycling infrastructure. The polystyrene recycling efforts in this space have been limited to date. We haven't got the scale that we need. We need more recycling. So we've come together as an industry and we are pushing forward new initiatives, and hopefully we'll be able to invest in new sortation and collection of polystyrene to increase the access that folks have to recycle our products. And really, the end goal is to increase the rates, the recycling rates of polystyrene, because that's really what we need. We need more polystyrene to come back to us so we can make more products.
Seems like to me you need a big cup of Joe to keep your head straight on all of these projects you're working on.
Yeah, that coupled with the advocacy portion of the role keeps me busy. I'm constantly, in a good way though. I'm talking about the great things that polystyrene does. It's recyclable, it's essential, it's safe, and it's a leading climate solution. It's important to know that.
That's awesome. Why don't we transition a little bit here and maybe talk a little bit of philosophy and a little bit of fun? Where do you see careers in the sustainability space over the next decade?
Well, it's interesting because there are actual academic programs now for
Hmm.
sustainability. When I was in college, not
Meaning
even that
you
long
can go to
ago,
school to study
yeah,
sustainability.
yeah,
Wow.
you can go and you'll have a leg up if that is your passion. If you know as a undergrad student that you want to be a part of making a difference, it's a great thing to do. You can learn everything that I've had to learn the hard way through making mistakes and doing things the exact wrong way in order to find the right way. You can learn from folks like me that have already gone through this space and be better prepared than I ever was. You can also see it within organizations now. There were never any sustainability teams in any of the companies that I worked for early in my career, very early in my career. But as time has gone on over the last 10, 15 years, that has been booming. There are large amounts of careers out there. People are needed in this space to continue to drive the solutions home that we need to make this world a better place. And I'm all for it. If anybody wants to talk about how to get into this space, once again, I said I'm on LinkedIn. Reach out to me directly, and I'm more than happy to talk through how best to go about that.
I think you've sort of answered this question that I want to ask you, but I want to rephrase it for clarity here. When you think about a young Justin 10, 15 years ago versus the Justin of today, what would that young Justin tell Justin of today? What advice would he give you?
The young Justin, I don't know if I would take advice from the young Justin, to be completely transparent with you. He probably would have said, "I thought you were going to be a history professor." And
Oh,
and now I'm in plastics. Yeah, I have a history undergrad. People are always shocked by that. Say, you don't have a chemical engineering background or anything like that? No, I no science in my background at all. Everything that I've learned, once again, is from smarter people than me.
yeah.
But I think he would also say, continue to keep your eyes open and look on the world with wonder, because there's a lot of craziness in the world right now, and it's tough not to get sidetracked with that. But there are a lot of great people out there that are trying to make a positive difference, and continue to pour into those folks, build them up, and build up the next generation to make an even bigger impact than I'm making.
Amen, brother. That's great advice. We like to wrap this up every time we have a guest on the Resilient Insights podcast. I got a playlist of songs of resilience that I have on Spotify, and I'm always adding to it. If you had a song or two, you could look at it two ways. It could be your walk-up song if you were a baseball player, or a theme song for resilience. What would it be?
I don't know why this is popping into my head, but I'm a big Johnny Cash fan from way back when.
That's
Boy
a good
Named Sue. Boy Named Sue, just thinking about having a difficult start to life, specifically within the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and just saying, you know what, I'm going to get through this. I'm okay. My name is Sue. How do you do? It's good stuff.
That's an excellent addition, and I love Johnny Cash. And I could
Yeah.
tell you, there's no Johnny Cash on that playlist, so we will make that addition. Well, with that being said, Justin, I want to thank you so much for being on the Resilient Insights podcast. For all of our listeners, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Give us a like, spread the word. If you're on Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. It helps us promote the podcast and expand its reach. And until next time, keep on listening. And thanks again, Justin, for being on today.
Thank you.
When I'm lost and I just can't see